Welcome to the latest Wax Ecstatic Pack Break. I'm your host, Matt Sammon, and we've got a real treat for you this time around. Look at this beauty. So red and shiny. 1974 Topps Baseball. And I'm very thankful to several donations that were made at paypal.me/waxecstatic as we were able to find this pack just a few weeks ago on eBay. We got it at a decent price and really excited at opening this up. Now, on the next podcast, which will come out this Friday, February 28th, we will get into the details of, first of all, why Topps went with one series starting in 1974, and some of the confusion that's been created by the wrappers. First of all, this wrapper was very similar to the 1966 design, but also this wrapper was basically recycled in 1976. Topps was very conscious about watching their bottom line, so they did not want to waste the opportunity to not reuse and recycle. So make sure, if you're buying some vintage wax, if it says it's from 1974, make sure it's actually from 1974 and not 1976. Likewise, if you're shopping for 1976, you want to make sure it's actually from 76 and not 74, although certainly it's a neat little bonus if you end up getting 74 as opposed to 76. Now, there is one way that you can tell that this is from one year over the other. Just flip it over, look at the special offer that's on the back. This particular one expired October 31st, 1974, so you know this is from 1974. Also, if you look at the product code down here, you'll see 74 in it, so keep that in mind. Now, when it comes to unopened wax, there's a lot of chicanery going on right now. A lot of people who take advantage of the vintage wax market, they buy the old wax wrappers, which people sell, and they'll put in 8 or 10 common cards, seal it up, and sell it as unopened vintage wax, which of course that is not the case. So always purchase from a reputable dealer. We did that. We found this dealer on eBay. He's got a 100% satisfaction rating and has sold several, in fact, lots of vintage wax from the 1970s over the past few months. So this person has a track record of selling honest-to-goodness vintage wax products. And while you can't be 100% certain that this is the real deal, given the track record of the seller, also the condition of the pack itself, you have to feel that you're 99% comfortable here. This looks like this came right out of a wax box from 1974. And if you look at the wrapper, you'll see that it is glued nice and tight. There is an excess glue slung all over the place. Also, if you look carefully, you can see roller marks from the machinery that packaged the wax pack. And another telltale sign is if you look at the bottom and the top here, you'll notice it's not heavily creased, it's not wrinkled. A lot of the times that's an indication that nobody has, basically tried to peel the wrapper back a little bit and see what the first card is. So if you look at this, it's pretty crisp, pretty tight, and it looks pretty legit here. Now, while we'll get into the 1974 set and the confusion that some of the wrappers made in 74 and later 1976, let's just open up some vintage wax here. You ready? This is going to be fun. So here we go. Starting with, and a little bit of a wax stain, the glue stain here. Sonny Jackson. Boy, look at that slab of 6-year-old gum now. Ugh. All right, Sonny Jackson with a wax stain. That's okay. What do we have next here? We've got Duke Sims. Damn glad to be there with the New York Yankees. Aurelio Rodriguez of the Detroit Tigers. It looks like he's playing in a rec field there. Baylor Moore of the Montreal Expos. Shot here, I believe that is Shea Stadium. Vic Harris of the Chicago Cubs, although clearly airbrushed here. Looks like he might have been with the Rangers or Twins. Let me flip that over here. Where was he the previous season? Yep, Texas Rangers. All right, sharp eye there. Mike Phillips of the San Francisco Giants. We've got Ken Brett. So you'd have to wait another year for the George Brett card, but we've got Kenny Brett there with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Again, a nice airbrush job. Jerry Grody of the New York Mets. And our Houston Astros team card. Now, this is kind of a neat thing here. This is the team checklist here, which was advertised on the wrapper there. Your bonus team checklist inside. So you've got the players and the faux autographs here. So let's see. We've got Jim the Toy Cannon Wynn, Don Wilson, Bob Watson, Doug Rader. Let's see. Lee May. Cesar Cedeno down there. So interesting. Oh, J.R. Richard, of course, probably the biggest name in what was a very rebuilding time for the Astros. So let's see. So we got 2, 4, 6, 8 cards. Okay. So this is standard with this particular wrapper, the bonus team checklist. Sometimes you have the 8-card version, sometimes you have the 10-card version, but that is 8 plus the checklist there. So no superstar cards here, unfortunately. However, always fun to open up these vintage cards here. Let's flip them over on the back real quick. Now, this was a very common problem still in 1974, and we talked about it a little bit on our last show. Cards getting miscentered here. So the Jerry Grody card is a great example here. You can see on the front that it's basically almost 90-10, and definitely on the back. Top still dealing with the technological deficiencies of the time. No way of getting a nice clean cut. The rest of the pack seems to be okay with it. Yeah, the Dwayne Sims is a little bit off, or Duke Sims, I should say. But let's take a look. For example, Sonny Jackson here, who looks just as lost on his baseball card as he was a player. But we flip it over, and you can already see, like card number 591, this was a 660 card series, or card set, I should say. So what would have been in the 6th series in 1973, it all comes out here at the beginning of the 1974 season, which was neat. Green was a very dominant color of Topps cards in the 1970s. So you would see the dark green on the backs a lot. Let's look at the cartoons, because sometimes the cartoons are more entertaining than the actual stats here. By the way, do you like the faux autograph too? That's neat. So Sonny's hobby is dancing. Okay, let's see. What do we got here for Duke Sims? Duke can also play the outfield. All right. Aurelio Rodriguez, his hobby is playing billiards. A lot of hobbies going on here. Baylor Moore likes to ride motorcycles. Vic Harris, an exceptional drag bunter. Mike Phillips. Mike played in the Mexican Winter League in 1972, so we have the nice stereotypical big sombrero going on there. Ken Brett has 2 brothers in pro baseball. Well, I wonder who one of them is. That's kind of neat. And then last but not least, the Jerry Grody. Jerry bought a ranch with his 1969 World Series check. Of course, he was from Texas, so why not? So some interesting tidbits here on the backs of the cards. Like I said, no star cards. Also of note, no Washington National League cards in the packs with the bonus team checklist. That was the second run of the cards. So you do have the chance of getting the Washington National League cards, which of course are San Diego Padres cards. We'll talk about that a little bit as well as we take a look back at the ambitious but unfortunately prone to errors 1974 top set in our next podcast. It's coming your way this Friday, February 28th via Audio Boom and all of the channels that grab the RSS feed. And don't forget, this was made possible through some generous donations of our listeners. So if you would like to make a donation, you can do so at paypal.me/waxecstatic. I'm your host, Matt Sammon. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.